Hello everyone, my name is Doc, and let me welcome you to Temporary Worlds, a project about playing and thinking through games. So you might be asking yourself, what is Temporary Worlds? Well, simply put, it's a project dedicated to helping people think creatively and critically about games and play. I think for a lot of us, games are pretty important parts of our lives. We play them to relax, sure, but we also play them to socialize with our friends, to challenge ourselves, to explore stories, characters, worlds, and ideas. But as important as they are for many of us, we rarely have the time, the tools, or the community to think and talk about them. My hope is that Temporary Worlds can be a project that provides all of that and more. And it better, because said that if I don't make good content, I'll be sent back to the file folder where I live in, and then I'll never see the light of day again. Anyway, let me lay out some of the goals driving this project forward. First and foremost, Temporary Worlds is about helping people learn how to think and talk about games and play. This sort of pedagogical or learning goal is really the central driving to the project of Temporary Worlds. There are a lot of really fantastic critics out there who make really smart game analysis, criticism, and videos and podcasts, and we'll definitely take a look at some of that work over the course of Temporary Worlds. But the core of Temporary Worlds is about teaching you how to think more deeply about the games that you care about, giving you the tools and the skills you need to do that criticism and analysis for yourself. Another important goal for Temporary Worlds is to demonstrate the process of games criticism through video essays, podcasts, streams, and more. An essential part of learning how to do anything is really having input, seeing something done well, and then working your way through making your own. So demonstrating that process will be a core part of this project. Another important goal for this project is to create educational materials that teachers can use in their classrooms. I think there's a lot of people, everyone from middle school teachers all the way through to university professors, who are really interested in bringing games into their classrooms. Part of what I want to do with Temporary Worlds is create materials that empower teachers to put games on the table as an object of discussion in their classroom, no matter what you're talking about. Another really important goal for Temporary Worlds is to sort of summarize and introduce concepts and theories from game studies. They don't call me Doc for nothing. I spent a fair few years working my way through this somewhat obscure, but still really fun and vibrant field of game studies. I think there's a lot of really valuable concepts and theories there that people would really find helpful in thinking through their own experiences of play and games. And I want to make Temporary Worlds a project that introduces those concepts and theories to a really broad audience. A sort of longer-term goal for the project is really to foster a community of people who want to talk about games and play. Some of the best learning happens when we speak with each other, when we sit down, share our ideas and feelings about how something worked for us, or what worked or what didn't work for us in a game, and then learning from other people about what they saw in a game that we might have missed. And I think over time, I'm hoping to create a community of people who want to do that kind of work together. And of course, another really big goal for this project is to collaborate with fun and smart people. Like I said before, there are a ton of really great working critics, journalists, and scholars out there who are doing really fascinating and exciting and interesting work on game analysis and criticism and theory. And I want to bring those people in. I want to play games with them. I want to talk about their work. I want to talk about texts with them. I want to pick their brain and really make that available and accessible to a sort of broader audience. And a long-term goal for Temporary Worlds is eventually to offer online classes. There's something really powerful about creating just a little bit of structure, a little bit of regularity in the way that you learn things. And I think that there's a real potential and a real interest in finding other people to talk about things that you care about with. And I'm hoping that Temporary Worlds can sort of facilitate that through online courses. So, what's next? What's coming up for Temporary Worlds? Well, I'll be releasing content in units, and these will be broadly structured over the course of months. But the first one is going to be Game Studies 101. And Really, just to give it to you in a nutshell, I just want to introduce concepts that can help you think more deeply about playing games. We're going to sort of read scholarship and criticism about a particular concept. Then we're going to sort of also be playing games that relate to that concept or that theory. And then we're going to sort of bring those things together by reflecting through video, audio, or written content, streams, videos, podcasts. It's going to be loose. We're going to see what works. But that's generally the process. That's how this is going to look. Some of the upcoming topics that we're going to be starting with, we're going to be unpacking the idea of the magic circle. We'll be thinking about rules. Then later we'll be thinking about narrative in games. And then finally that place where games crosses over into the social and individual lives, thinking about identity both inside games, but also around games in gaming culture. And if any of this sounds really interesting to you, has piqued your interest, it's gotten you a little bit curious, make sure to follow Temporary Worlds on Twitter @temporary_worlds and search for us and subscribe on YouTube at Temporary Worlds. Links will be in the description, and thanks so much for coming.